If you want to make a huge leadership impact, you don't need more authority, you don't need a bigger title, and you don't need complicated leadership theories. We're talking about 3 leadership behaviors that instantly improve trust, engagement, and performance on any team. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Leading Life Podcast, the place where leadership meets real life. Here is where we talk about leading with intention, living with clarity, and getting better results for the people we serve every single day. If you're ready to grow, you're in the right place. Right now on today's episode, instant leadership impact in 3 easy steps. Yes, welcome to the Leading Life Podcast. I'm Andy Zook, and this show is all about what it takes to grow, lead, and live with purpose. After more than 35 years of leading teams, coaching people, and building leaders, I've learned one thing. Your life will only grow as much as you're willing to lead it. So, on this podcast, each episode gives you the practical tools and real-world insights to help you become a stronger leader at work, at home, and all throughout your life in general. So, my promise to you is always no fluff, no empty motivation, no phony positivity, but just actionable steps that you can take and put into practice right now, today. Remember, leadership is not about your title. We often get caught up in that a little bit, some more than others, but leadership is about your impact. So instead of like a list of 20 things that you got to do every day, we're going to make it simple with 3. And here's something that I've learned after more than 35 years of leading teams. Many leaders think impact requires all these complicated strategies, expensive programs, or some massive culture overhaul. The truth is, the biggest leadership impact often comes from doing a few simple things but exceptionally well. And today we're going to talk about 3 leadership behaviors that will dramatically change how people perform, how they feel about their work, and whether they're going to stay with you in your organization. 3 steps, easy to understand, but incredibly powerful when practiced consistently. Step 1, build radical trust. Not just trust, radical trust. What does that mean? Well, leadership has a currency. And I've said it often on the podcast, it's influence. But before that, it really starts with trust. Everything else, engagement, performance, innovation, flows from that. So when trust is high, teams move faster, they collaborate more freely, and they take healthier risks. When trust is low, people start to hold back and they start to protect themselves, and performance quietly will start to collapse. The research shows us that employees who trust leadership are far more engaged, they're more productive, significantly less likely to leave. So how do great leaders build trust? Well, again, radical transparency. Great leaders begin with the why behind decisions. They don't just announce outcomes. They say, here's what we're facing, or here's the challenge, and here's why and how we made this decision. People don't expect perfection, but they do deeply respect honesty. You also have to have a say-do consistency. Trust grows when people see one thing over and over again. You do what you say you're going to do. That's all that matters. If you promise development opportunities, follow through on them. If you promise to give support, show up. Small, broken promises slowly destroy credibility. Don't let that happen to you. But be consistent on your follow through, because that builds a reputation that says, wow, all right, this leader can be trusted. A little while ago, one of my strongest associates comes up to me and she said, Andy, I was working with another associate in another store and I saw them do this thing, which is getting to a result that we're trying to build in our store. And the way that she was taught how to do it was not in the best interest of the customer. So it was an integrity thing and it was a trust thing. And she asked me would I do that? And I simply said, do you ever see me do that? And she said, no. And I said, well, there is your answer. So how you lead, how you show up greatly impacts trust. And you want them to see you doing things that builds trust. The other part of this is psychological safety. This is one of the most powerful drivers of high-performing teams. We talk about it a lot on here. Psychological safety means people feel safe to share ideas. They can admit mistakes. Wow, imagine that. Ask questions and then take intelligent risks. Because when leaders create that environment, innovation will start to explode because there's no more fear. People don't fear being wrong. People don't fear taking a risk. All right, so that is number 1, build radical trust. Okay, here is number 2. Invest deeply in their growth. We talk about this a lot, but I don't see people really doing it. And here's something fascinating about human motivation. People don't just want a job. They want progress. Employees who believe their leaders care about their growth are dramatically more engaged and far more likely to stay. So the question becomes, how do leaders actively invest in development? Let's talk about it. First, you want to start with continuous feedback. The old model of one annual review or even a 6 months review is outdated. High-performing leaders create ongoing conversations, quick check-ins, short coaching moments, real-time recognition. Feedback becomes a continuous dialogue, not a once-a-year event. And then you want to personalize this development. So great leaders don't assume everyone wants the same career path. Instead, they ask, hey, what lights you up in what we do? What excites you here? What skills do you want to develop? Where do you see yourself growing? God, simple questions like that can make such a huge difference. Instead of this rigid path that is, career path that they have to follow, that many people are like, I don't even want to do that. I mean, that was a huge part of my development was everybody's like, oh, Andy, you got to be a regional director. You got to be a regional director. I never wanted to be a regional director, and I went around that to do something completely different. Help them design opportunities that align with their goals. This could mean stretch assignments, mentorship, leading new projects, and cross-training. When people feel their growth matters, their engagement will really reach an incredibly high level. And then we want to delegate with intent. Delegation isn't just about workload, it's about development as well. The best leaders assign challenges that stretch people slightly beyond their comfort zone. Not overwhelming, but just enough to help them grow, because confidence grows through experience. Okay, and that was step 2, which is invest in their development. Here's step 3, prioritize holistic well-being. Here's something that the modern workforce is making very clear to us. People want to be treated as whole human beings, not productivity machines. And when leaders realize this, burnout drops and loyalty can increase. Help build and model healthy boundaries. Leadership behavior sets the tone. So if leaders are sending emails at midnight, they're skipping their breaks and constantly working the weekends, teams start to feel pressured to do the same. Healthy leaders demonstrate balance. They take breaks, they disconnect, and they show that sustainable performance matters more than anything. So make sure we show meaningful flexibility. Research consistently shows that giving employees autonomy over how they work dramatically increases engagement. Flexibility will communicate something powerful, saying essentially, I trust you, and that drives ownership. Help them manage workload and stress. Great leaders pay attention to the human side of productivity. They check in regularly. They ask, how are things going? Where do you feel overwhelmed, and what support do you need from me? When leaders actively manage workloads, they prevent burnout before it happens. That, again, was make sure that we prioritize holistic well-being. And here's your leadership edge for this episode. Here's the key insight. These 3 leadership behaviors aren't complicated, but they require your intentionality: trust, growth, and well-being. When leaders focus on these 3 areas consistently, something remarkable will happen. Your teams will become more engaged, they'll become more creative, they'll demonstrate more loyalty, and dramatically move the needle in productivity. Because great leadership doesn't just drive performance, it builds environments where people thrive. And this is your call to action on this episode. Here's where the actionable steps begin. Ask yourself 3 questions. Where can I build more trust with my team? 2, how can I invest in someone's growth this week? 3, what can I do to support the well-being of the people around me? Small actions, but huge impact. Leadership excellence isn't built through grand gestures, it's built through consistent daily behaviors. It's funny when I look back on becoming a manager in my early 20s. I got to be honest with you, I was pretty clueless. And the only thing I knew how to do was emulate some of the good things great managers did and not repeat the horrible things I saw other managers do. But it was like finding my way through the dark a lot of the time, trying to find my path. There was no mentorship. There was no training programs. The only outside resource was maybe a few books on leadership. But now the resources are endless to you. You literally can pull out your phone and find out all kinds of information about leadership and how to lead people better. But yet I look around and I still notice that these simple things mystify many people in charge of other people. I just don't know how they don't get it. And the bottom line, maybe, they're just not cut out for it, or they've lost their way over time. I think we all need to reset. And I don't want that to happen to you. So take a moment and ask yourself these questions as we close out the episode. Do the people I lead truly trust me? Yeah, think about that. When you're going home, ask yourself that question. When you leave your team at the end of the day, ask yourself, do the people I lead truly trust me? Another great question is, when was the last time I was really invested in a team member's development? Or am I creating an environment where people feel safe to speak up? Do my leadership habits support well-being or unintentionally increase stress? And lastly, what is one leadership action I can take tomorrow that would improve somebody's experience at work? Remember, leadership is an art, and every day you show up to lead, you are painting something. The question is, what kind of environment are you creating for the people around you? So go out today. Number 1, build trust. Number 2, develop people. And number 3, care about their total well-being. All right, that's my episode. And if this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who might need it, because leading your life well isn't about perfection. It's about awareness, courage, and choosing what truly matters one day at a time. I hope this impacted you for the better. And if it did, please leave me a rating or review and hit subscribe so you don't miss another episode of the Leading Life Podcast. And until next time, lead with purpose, live with intention, and keep becoming who you were meant to be. But most importantly, go out and be the hero of somebody's story today. I'm Andy Zook. This is the Leading Life Podcast, and I'll see you on the next episode. Take care. Bye.